Crazy story. She was like, Lovely T, when you Google Nigger House, it takes you to the White House on Google Maps. And I thought she was playing, so I took out my trusty Android phone and I put in Nigger House, and sure enough, the White House came up. So a lot of folks were talking about this online. This was a viral story. And on top of that, I also Googled niggers on Google Maps, and it took me to some Underground Railroad TV. Other folks put in nigga, Nigga, nigga college, and it brought up Morehouse. So it was just a mess. Google has since apologized. They're saying that basically what happened is that they allow people to edit maps and update, the systems as they need to. And they're saying by today, everything should be fixing back to normal. They're saying that it was a racist prank by many people online who did this. So the whole situation is a mess. I don't know who thought to, Google Nigger House on Google Maps, but once somebody did that, that's what came up. So my personal opinion, that's cool that Google apologized. But I initially thought that this was a hoax until I tried it. I think Google needs to make it where random users cannot update the Google Maps. I don't understand why they need help from the public any damn ways. You guys are Google. You guys are $1 million company. You guys can pay people, create jobs to have people update your maps. But instead, you guys would rather have the public do it for free as opposed to paying a team of people to handle this situation. And now Google has egg on their face. So it's just a message. It shows you that even with the black president, we are not living in a post-racial society, and a lot of folks out here are still racist and still hold a lot of bigoted views.
Bam. Rich in the words of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace and blessings be upon you. And I mentioned both Jesus and Muhammad's name, peace be upon them both, because they were both messages of truth and reality. And you're looking at the Underground Railroad TV show. We say hi to the people in Central America, the United States, Asia, Africa, UK, and man, I forgot
Europe.
somebody, Europe, and Europe.
And Australia.
And I always forget Australia. But this is a show. You know what? Me and Alderman, we have interviewed people for many, many years. But this is a show where we just gonna talk, okay? And the insert, that's what we're gonna talk about. And have former Alderman and committeeman, former Alderman Jones. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself, though.
Well, I'm former Alderman Jones. I'm Virgil Jones Eel.
Oh,
because I'm a Moor,
yes, sir.
as you are,
Yes,
and
sir.
anyone else who looks like us.
So I'm gonna have to stop saying.
Because in 1774, there were no Negroes, there was no colored folks, there were no black folks, there were no Africans. Because Africa is named after a white man named Sipis Africana, so I don't allow people to call me that.
I understand. I want to say thanks to Lynn Tucker for leaving this beautiful representation of Africa up the flag, and it was nice of them. Watch Tucker Solutions and watch Elmer and Company and Mystic Vibes and listen to the Booty Butt Naked Truth on 1570 AM from what time?
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
From 2 to 4 in Grady's Notebook. And this video insert that I had I got that off YouTube because there are people that are talking about us on the internet, man, and first of all, I didn't know that a certain group of people had named the White House Nigger House. And what happened is they got on the new Google search engine. And what happened is that connected to the Underground Railroad television show. So what did you think about that, brother?
Well, just today, yesterday, they talked about, and the thing is, they talked about a Moorish black woman, Michelle Obama, called her ape. That'd be like somebody calling your wife, your mother, an ape.
Yes.
All right? Besides saying our program was the Underground Niggers, or the White House was the Nigger House. You see, they have no respect for us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be point blank with you. All right? What they should do, us as a people, in the next election, they should put all Republicans in. I'm serious.
All Republicans.
All Republicans. See, once you punish them that way, all right, then they will respect you. If they don't do right, then the next time you get rid of them and put all Democrats in.
But you know, Maul, you know what? The people out there that listen, I'm glad that we get the opportunity to express ourselves. You know what? What I would say to that is, no matter who they put in office, there's an apparatus behind the power that the average individual does not know about that controls this government. There's a shadow government. So that's what I would say in regards to that. So therefore, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, they're bought, like Minister Farrakhan said, your buddy, they're bought and paid for. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Not all of them.
Okay.
There are some people who are not bought and paid for. And when I was a politician, I wasn't bought and paid for. That's what my problem was.
But you remember we talked and a man told you, see that man up there on that podium?
Yeah, Alderman.
Can you tell him that story?
Alderman Marino told me when I was an alderman. I got there early one day, and he was in the room by himself. He said, "Kid, come over here." I said, "My mama wasn't no goat, Alderman. I done told you that before."
Yes, sir.
He said, "Just listen. Nobody here but us." He said, "You really came down here to help them bastards in your ward." I said, "There you go again, calling my people out of their names."
Yes, sir.
You know, I ain't with that kind of program. He said, "Just listen." He said, "I believe you sincere. However, that man up there on the podium, he was talking about Mary Daly, he don't run nothing down here." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "What I said. He'll be here as long as he's doing what he's told to do. When he starts thinking that he got some real power, he won't be here anymore." He said, "Now, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to try and save you, son." I said, "What you mean, save me?" "Before they let you change one thing down here, they'll destroy you."
So you know, in essence, what I'm saying is there's a cabal
Of course there is.
of people that run this government, and the major decisions that are made, like high definition television, okay, Google's, all these things have been decided. So I'm just saying, like your friend Minister Farrakhan said, that these politicians, the majority of these politicians, are bought and paid for.
Well, I don't deny Minister Farrakhan is a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Even though years ago he told me, if anyone tries to ask you about me, ask them if they're talking about Farrah Fawcett.
Yes, sir.
He said, because if they think you friends with me, they're going to try to come to get you.
Yes, sir, because I know you've been to the palace many times. And that's a blessing.
I've eaten dinner there.
That's a blessing.
All right, because the man, I like him because he's not afraid to speak the truth.
Yes. And, you know, but the thing is, you know, we're getting back to Nigger House. You know, there have been various people that have tried to play tricks on me and you. And I want to share this with the audience. There's a lady that called up from New York. Now, she said that she was from New York.
Queens, New York.
Queens, New York. And they wanted me and the aldermen to try to influence some people.
And come to New York.
And she wanted us to come to New York. And she said...
Because she had 4,000 people.
Yeah, she said, yeah. And
they was ready to start the revolution.
And her words is, let's hurt some white folks. See?
And I told her, I'm a follower of the noble Drew Ali.
Yeah.
I believe in love, truth, peace, freedom, and I believe if you practice that, sister, you'll get justice.
Yes.
That stuff you talking about don't have nothing to do with me.
No.
And I told Cliff, you know, there's something called the Patriot Act.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she trying to get us hooked up, violating the Patriot Act. Mm-hmm. That didn't work, so they sent a guy named Ed Peters. And I interviewed him. And
Ed, this one is for you.
And
Go
I
ahead.
asked Ed Peters, are you a member of the Anti-Defamation League? And he told me he didn't know what that was. And then I asked him, what's your nationality? And he told me, I'm a Jew. I said, I didn't ask you your religion.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you, what was your nationality? Mm-hmm. In case you don't understand, where's your father from?
Yes, sir.
And he said, Poland.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, you said I was anti-Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was anti-Semitic.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of Jewish friends.
Yeah.
I said, and I couldn't be anti-Semitic because it don't apply to you because your ancestors are from Poland.
Yeah.
And they're not Semitic. And that really upset him.
Yeah.
He's still upset today
Yeah.
because of me straightening him out. Don't use that religious stuff.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you about your nationality and you want to tell me about your religion.
See, Alderman and listening audience out there, there have been people. The Alderman, I don't believe that he uses Facebook, but I use Facebook.
No, I ain't going to never use it.
And why? Then I see what I
Because I think that stuff is something set up by the government so that they can profile you, all right? Because they do have methods of profiling people.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to help them to profile me.
Because as you say, when they first started out, they started out in a little college dorm. You say they was poor than Job's turkey, brother.
Yeah. So how they become billionaires?
See,
How?
It's a possibility that they working hand in hand with the government. That's what some people have told me, but I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this. Do you think the government is going to allow them to have that much influence in anything that they can't control?
No, but there has come something. I think was something did come out in the news saying they was not going to let the federal government get certain information. But I know that that's propaganda. Like Goebbels was a minister of propaganda for Hitler to put out Goebbels to put out false information.
Well, Goebbels said what? If you tell someone something often enough,
Mm-hmm.
eventually people will believe what they're saying about you.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was Hitler's propagandist.
Yeah.
All right? He was the one that would say that this is bad about the Jews, this is bad about the Jews. I was just reading some material recently that said that Hitler didn't even know about that stuff. They was doing all that stuff behind his back. He learned about that at the end of the war. He didn't know they was killing all them folks the way they was. It's possible. I ain't saying it's true.
Okay.
It's possible
Okay.
that you can have people around you who are doing things that you don't have no knowledge of.
I mean, like me, certain people, certain politicians that have handlers that make every effort to keep people away, like me and you, to keep us away. Because you know what they want? They are the handlers. So it is possible, but on that massive scale.
But we had a guy on this show,
I know what you're talking about.
Jesse White. I don't bite my tongue.
Yeah.
He was talking about Blagojevich
Yeah.
and how paying to play.
He's in jail now, yeah.
And I asked him a question.
People don't know who Blagojevich is.
He was a former governor
of Illinois.
of Illinois before Quinn. And I asked him a question. I said, you a ward committeeman, right? He said, yeah. I said, and I was a ward committeeman. Elected 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a question. If you want to be on the Democratic Party's ballot for the whole state, don't you have to give them $30,000 to get on there? He got quiet. I said, that's paying to play.
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell me, did Blagojevich ever did that? No. No.
I mean,
So how could you say he was paying to play?
Okay.
See, sometimes people do what they told and say what they're
Follow orders.
told to say. They follow orders. There's a book called. It's a very interesting book.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That I suggest everybody read. It's called Blowback.
Okay.
This book tells all about what Hitler told his people to do in case they lost the war.
Yes.
One of the things he told them, he said, I want y'all to take all our gold and silver and put it in the banks in America.
Mm-hmm.
After you do that, I want you to go to America under the guise that you're going to help them with the communist threat.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get in the CIA, the State Department, and the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that goes to try to stop us from establishing the Fourth Reich, see, people don't know what that word Reich means. That word Reich means empire.
Yes, sir.
The first empire was the Greek Empire.
Mm-hmm.
The second empire was the Roman Empire. Germany was the third empire,
Yes,
known
sir.
as the Third Reich.
Mm-hmm.
And they've come to America to set up the Fourth Reich.
Yes, sir.
That's why they're doing exactly what Hitler did, going all over the world, conquering folks.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
Yeah, that's true. But you know what?
But it's not the congressman, it ain't the president.
Yeah.
It's the hidden hand that's doing this.
Yes, sir.
There's another book called The Protocol of the Learned Elders of Zion.
Yes, sir.
I suggest a person read that
Good
book, because that book says, might is right.
Mm-hmm.
We don't rule because we're right. We rule because we have the might.
Yes. Yes. You know what, Alderman? It's like this. I know you don't go on Facebook. You don't mess with the social networks.
No.
Okay. But people be aware of something. When you go on Facebook, you go on Google's, you go to Twitter, and all these other new all these other new social networks that may come out, because you'll be looking at this years from now. You may think that you be friendly to somebody, but you may be friending an agent. Because I saw something that said that, you know what, there are CIA agents on Facebook trying to get people to incite something so you can violate the Patriots Act. I know you know about.
Yeah, that's true. You had some young brothers down in Florida
Mm-hmm.
who believed in the Islamic faith.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent someone into them
Mm-hmm.
and said they were talking about insurrection. And that was the farthest thing from them young brothers' minds in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But they arrested them, and they in jail till yet. They ain't went to trial yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna put them in the penitentiary,
Yes.
all right? And they was innocent. See, you gotta be careful what you talk about.
Sound like Nazi Germany to me, bro.
It is.
Sound like.
This is the new Nazi Germany.
I'm listening to you, and people over the world are listening. It's almost like it's a police state, and it's so bad, man. You got speed cameras, you got red light cameras, you're gonna have drones going around, and all these devices are used to control and to know what the masses of people are doing. So that's why we can go on the internet and do what we want so free.
Well, July the 15th, which is next month,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to start to institute something called Jade Helm 15.
Hmm.
And Jade Helm 15 is where they're going to bring in Navy SEALs and all those folks. They've got the 10 states already picked out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to mix with the population.
Yes.
And those are going to find out who all the dissidents are and etc. And they have some underground cities already built.
Mm-hmm.
Built by a guy named Phil Snyder, who they killed,
Yes.
all right, because he started going around the country telling people what he had done,
Like Mandrake.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mandrake was killed too.
Yeah. I know.
When I was in the city council, I had a hearing. I called for a hearing on his death, where supposedly He drove his car into the Jackson Park Lagoon.
Let me say this real quick. You know what? If anybody knows Mandrake's wife or his daughter, his child, please have them get in contact with me, because I want to do a show, because your father was an honorable man, and I would like to do a show about him.
They didn't like it because he was messing with their liquor signs. All right, painting over them and all of that stuff, messing with their advertisements. And that's why they killed him.
Yeah.
And don't think that they won't.
Yeah. But you were saying about the dissidents, they're going to round up the dissidents.
Yeah. They're starting on the West Coast in Nevada, California, Texas. They got 10 states out there.
They're starting in Chicago and New York. What's wrong with
Well, you got to understand that Chicago is the center of all of the crooked stuff in the country. This city here. Don't think it ain't. All right? And when you do some research on the Crown family and those names, I don't know if you know who that is.
No, I don't.
Well, they were just some of the most powerful families, all right, in the country. And if you go back, I suggest you get a movie.
Go to YouTube, we can look it up, right?
Yeah, but there's a movie that was out that talks about a Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay.
And go look at that movie.
Okay.
See, all these white boys, they talk about black gangs. They were in gangs
Hamburgers
before 1898.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And what they did was they decided they were going to take over government. And they did. All right, the hamburgers, all right, which Daley's father was the president of. They killed a black man on 31st and 31st Street Beach. All right?
Yes.
Because they came to the beach.
Wow.
Think about that.
I want to ask you something about the other little tricks that they have played. Now, that probably worked on me with the sisters, but you said they profile you.
Of course.
But there's someone that attempted to say that me and Alderman Jones could make a lot of money.
There was a guy called you from Gary, Indiana.
And they wanted us to get involved, and they said, why don't you come over here? They said, y'all come to Indiana, and I can guarantee that y'all could get a lot of money.
And I told you I'm not going there. I don't have no money, and I ain't going to Indiana to try to get no money. Because once you cross the state lines, then you're talking about interstate commerce. And I'm not doing that. You got the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
and he never called back, did
but
he?
you know what I was trying to,
Did he ever call back?
No. But you know what I was trying, I mean, these are federal agents, you know, but the thing is, I was trying to understand, why you want to be so nice to us?
And I ain't never did nothing to help you.
That's what I didn't understand. But when you said what you said, I put it together. This must be agent. It's a possibility.
No, it was. There ain't no possibility about it. You have to call it the way you see it.
5 minutes, yeah.
You have to call it the way you see it, brother.
Okay.
They were agents, thinking that we were dumb enough, all right, to come over there so they could lie and say we was doing something we had no intention of doing.
And they have sent women our ways too. Well, you probably I might have possibly been with someone, you know, that was asking all type of questions about the mosque that I went to, Masjid Al Farouk on 89th Stone, 20 South Stony Island, asking about the infrastructure, asking what it was all about and who was in control and things like that, because mosques have been infiltrated by agents, and that person may have been an agent, but I would say this: no matter how many agents they put in the mosque, or how many microphones they put in the mosque, how many cameras, Islam is going to continue to rise. But I'm talking about women, though. But
well, brother, they know that's your weakness. I don't have that weakness. Did you let that?
Yeah, I understand.
They wasting their time sending a
But they've
female.
tried, though. I know.
No. They did that back when I was the alderman, trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even in my household.
Yeah.
So that don't work on me. I don't make new friends.
Yeah, I understand.
That's what I learned.
Yes, sir. You know what we got to like, but the thing is, I want to say something. The things they said about the Underground Railroad, us being hateful, anti-Semitic, and all this. And you know what? The lady from Channel 7 News called us up. I forgot her name. She wanted to do an interview with us. What was her name?
I wasn't going to talk to her anyway.
Okay, she called us up and wanted to do an interview with. In the Huffington Post wrote a story about us. Plus, Cool Magazine wrote a story about Nigger House and it being connected to the Underground Railroad. And I want to thank them, the ones that did it. Thank you. You know, if you're displeased with me and him because we're speaking truth, thank you, because all you did, you didn't hurt us. You helped us. I don't know if you.
Well, my brother, let me tell you. When I was in prison, I read a memorandum from Janet Reno.
2 minutes.
You know what it said?
What's that?
How to get news media personnel to become confidential informants. So I ain't really into talking to news reporters. I gave,
I'm sorry, her name was Diane Burton, I think.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah, that was Channel 7, Chicago Channel 7 news anchor that wanted to interview me and Alderman. Thank
Now,
you.
she was going to interview you because she wasn't going to interview me.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't do no pre-recorded stuff except here. You ain't going to get me on no show where they have to go and edit it.
I understand.
Because you could make me say stuff I did not meant to say. The way you going to rearrange it. I'm not doing it. If it ain't live, you can count me out.
Yeah. But I want everybody to know, this train, you can get on the Underground Railroad and take a trip on the Underground Railroad TV show every Saturday night at 10:30. You can see me, me and the Alderman. And you can see us on YouTube.
And even though it's a black front, it ain't the Underground Nigger Show.
I like that. And you know what? They're talking about naming a dollar bill after Harriet Tubman, and I think that's a good thing. What you think? I mean, a $10 bill, I think.
Yeah, take Hamilton off and put Harriet Tubman on.
Yeah, I mean.
I think Harriet Tubman was a great woman.
Yes.
Because when she was freeing the slaves and they would get to talking crazy, but I want to go back to Master's house, she said, well, then I got to kill you.
And she said, she also, yeah, you know what, she also said, I could have freed more if they knew they were slaves. Now, I may be saying the words incorrectly because I'm paraphrasing. So
that's what she said, if they knew they were slaves.
So, you know.
They didn't want to know they were slaves.
And I want to say thank you to the people that put out the negative information about the Underground Railroad. But you the fool. You didn't hurt us. You helped us.
Don't tell them too much, brother, because we want them to keep doing that.
Assalamu
alaikum. Because it goes all over the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good.